Tver is a city and the administrative center of Tver Oblast, Russia. Population 414,606, 403,606, 408,903, 450,941. Located north of Moscow, Tver was formerly the capital of a powerful medieval state and a model provincial town in the Russian Empire, with a population of 60,000 on January 14, 1913. It is situated at the confluence of the Volga and Tver rivers. The city was known as Kalinin from 1931 to 1990. The city is situated at the conflux of three rivers, splitting the town into northern and southern parts by the Volga River, and then divided up again into quarters by the Tver River, which splits the northern shore into east and west halves, and the Tamka River, which does the same along the southern bank. History. Medieval origins. Tver's foundation year is officially accepted to be 1135, although there is no universal agreement on this date and some estimates place it as late as the second half of the 13th century. Originally a minor settlement of Novgorodian traders, it passed to the Grand Prince of Vladimir in 1209. In 1246, Alexander Nevsky granted it to his younger brother Yaroslav Yaroslavich, from whom a dynasty of local princes descended. 4 of them were killed by the Golden Horde and were proclaimed saints by the Russian Orthodox Church. Formerly a land of woods and bogs, the Principality of Tver was quickly transformed into one of the richest and most populous Russian states. As the area was hardly accessible for Tatar raids, there was a great influx of population from the recently devastated south. By the end of the century, it was ready to vie with Moscow for supremacy in Russia. Both Tver and Moscow were young cities, so the outcome of their rivalry was far from being certain. Grand Prince Mikhail, the Grand Prince of Tver, who ascended the throne of Vladimir in 1305, was one of the most beloved of medieval Russian rulers. His policy of open conflict with the Golden Horde led to his assassination there in 1318. His son Dmitry, the Terrible Eyes, succeeded him, and, concluding an alliance with the mighty Grand Duchy of Lithuania, managed to raise Tver's prestige even higher. Exasperated by Dmitry's influence, Prince Ivan Kalita of the Grand Duchy of Moscow engineered his murder by the Mongols in 1326. On hearing the news of this crime, the city revolted against the Horde. The Horde joined its forces with Muscovites and brutally repressed the rebellion. Many citizens were killed, enslaved or deported. This was the fatal blow to Tver's aspirations for supremacy in Russia. In the second half of the 14th century, Tver was further weakened by dynastic struggles between its princes. 2 senior branches of the ruling house, those of Kashin and Kumsky, asserted their claims to the Grand Ducal throne. The claimers were backed up by Moscow and eventually settled at the Moscow Kremlin court. During the Great Feudal War in the Grand Duchy of Moscow, Tver once again rose to prominence and concluded defensive alliances with Lithuania, Novgorod, Byzantium, and the Golden Horde. Grand Prince Boris of Tver sent one of his men, Afanazy Nikitin, to search for gold and diamonds as far as India. Nikitin's travelogue, describing his journey from 1466 to 1472, is probably the first ever first-hand account of India by a European. A monument to Nikitin was opened on the Volga embankment in 1955. Later history at last. On September 12, 1485, the forces of Ivan the Great seized the city. The principality was given as an appanage to Ivan's grandson, only to be abolished several decades later. Last scions of the ruling dynasty were executed by Ivan the Terrible during the Oprichnina. At that turbulent time, Tver was ruled by Simeon Bekbulatovich, a former Khan of Kasimov. The only remnant of his ephemeral reign is a graceful tent-like church in the village of Kushalino, 28 kilometers northeast of Tver. 18th century. The city's decline was not irrevocable, however. With the foundation of St. Petersburg, Tver gained importance as a principal station on the highway en route from Moscow. It was much visited by Russian royalty and nobility traveling from the old capital to the new one and back. Following a devastating fire of 1763, the city was rebuilt in a neoclassical style. Under Catherine the Great, the central part was thoroughly reconstructed. Crumbling medieval buildings were razed and replaced with imposing neoclassical structures. The most important of these are the Travel Palace of the Empress, and the Ascension Church. 19th century. In 1809 a committee was set up on the improvement of the city, where he worked the famous architect of the capital Rossi. In his projects were built Cathedral of Christ, houses on the waterfront and in the city centre. He also rebuilt Travel Palace. At this time, in the city lived a sister of Alexander I, Catherine Pavlovna, who was married to the governor of Tver, which turned the palace into one of the centers of social life of the country and fashionable literary salon, where going to the high society of Tver and which was visited by many prominent people from Moscow and St. Petersburg. Writer and historian Nikolai Karamzin read here Emperor Alexander excerpts from his history. In the palace of the Prince of Persia took Khosrow Mirza, who came to apologize for the killing of Alexander Griboidov, met the Prussian King Frederick William III. Additional quarters for himself and his family to settle in the palace of the Tver Alexander II. 20th century. On November 20, 1931, the city was renamed Kalinin after the nominal head of state and affiliate of Joseph Stalin, Mikhail Kalinin, who had been born nearby. The last vestige of the pre-Petrine epoch, the Saviour Cathedral, was blown up in 1936. In 1940, the NKVD executed more than 6,200 Polish policemen and prisoners of war from Ostashkov camp. The Wehrmacht occupied Kalinin for 2 months from October 17 to December 16, 1941, leaving the city in ashes. Kalinin was the first major city in Europe to be liberated from the Wehrmacht. During the Cold War, Kalinin was home to the Kryuchkovo Air Base, which is no longer in service. The city's historic name of Tver was restored on July 17, 1990. Apart from the suburban White Trinity Church, there are no ancient monuments left in Tver. The central part is graced with Catherinian and Soviet edifices, bridges, and embankments. Tver's most notable industries are a railroad car plant, opened in 1898, an excavator factory, and a glass factory. Tver is home to Migolovo, which is one of Russia's biggest military airlift facilities. Administrative and municipal status. Tver is the administrative center of the oblast and, within the framework of administrative divisions, it also serves as the administrative center of Kalininsky district, even though it is not a part of it. As an administrative division, it is incorporated separately as Tver Okrug, an administrative unit with a status equal to that of the districts. As a municipal division, Tver Okrug is incorporated as Tver Urban Okrug. City division. City was divided into districts in 1936. The districts were updated several times in 1965 and 1976. The final city division, currently in use, divides the city into 4 districts. Zavoltsky Rayon, part of the city, located on the left bank of Volga River. Morstufsky Rayon, east of the city, located on the right bank of Volga River oriented towards Moscow. Proletarsky Rayon, west part of the city, named after the Proletarka plant. Centralny Rayon, central part of the city including historical downtown and neighborhood in a near proximity. Politics. The Tver City Duma, the local parliament, is composed of 33 deputies. The executive branch is the administration of Tver. The structure consists of the head of administration of the city administration, his deputies, industry bodies, as well as the administration of the 4 districts, Zavolsky, Moscow, Proletarsky and Zentralny. A considerable part of the government buildings of the city of Tver and the Tver Oblast lay along Sovietskaya Street. The Soviet area is the residence of the governor of the oblast, and a former regional party committee is the Legislative Assembly of Tver Oblast. Tver City Duma as a representative body of the city existed from 1785 to 1918, was reconstituted after the dissolution of councils and adoption of the new Constitution of Russia in 1993. March 20, 1994, elections were held in the House of Representatives, who on May 26 was called Tver City Duma. June 7, deputies were able to hold the first meeting of the Untitled, and on June 14 to elect a chairman, Valery Matitsina. In 1996, deputies took the founding document of the city, the Charter of the City of Tver, putting him in the Duma elections portion by rotation. Then the election of deputies held October 27, 1996, and in the future, every 2 years on the even and odd districts. In 2007, 12 former deputies were convicted of taking bribes for decisions in favor of Rosvodokandal and other utilities. In October 2008, the deputies of the elections have already passed on party lists, and in March 2009 on the system of party lists have been translated the entire composition of the City Duma, while discontinued the practice of rotation of deputies. In the elections of 2009 the best results showed local communists. October 27, 1996, simultaneously with elections to the City Duma passed the first general elections of the head of the city. They defeated Alexander Belousov, who led the 1991 municipal administration and received more than 50% of the vote. October 30, 2000 he was re-elected to a second term, and April 9, 2003 he died of a heart attack. On July 6, 2001 at the early elections of the mayor won the opposition-leaning City Duma Oleg Lebedev. December 2, 2007 when he supported the pro-government party United Russia was re-elected for a second term, receiving more than 70% of the vote. On April 11, 2008 he was suspended by the Central District Court in connection with a criminal case opened in 2005, closed in 2006 and renewed the Prosecutor General of Russia in March 2008. On May 23 Oleg Lebedev was reinstated, and on June 3 again dismissed. The 25th of June, he was taken into custody and transported to Kashan, where he was convicted of visiting college Tver Regional Court jury to 18 years imprisonment, which automatically meant the termination of his powers. In 2009, he was released on parole, but the position was not restored. In late 2008, Tver City Duma adopted amendments to the Charter of the city, under which were abolished direct elections of the mayor and introduced a new position of head of the city administration. With this amendment to the Charter of the city caused a mixed reaction of the public and local attempts to bring the issue by the communists to citywide referendum were not supported by City Duma. In March 2009, the new mayor was elected MP from the United Russia Vladimir Babichev, and in May the same year, the head of the city administration was appointed to Loko Basil, who was previously the first deputy governor of the Tver Oblast. The mayor and the head of the local administration were elected with a thin majority of 17 votes against 16. On December 27, 2011 by a majority vote City Council voted in favor of early termination of Basil to Loko. On March 29, 2012, decision of the Tver City Duma to the post of head of the administration was appointed Valery Pavlov, previously held the post of the first Deputy Chief of Staff. Education. Tver is home to Tver State University, the most highly rated university of the region. It is also home to the Tver State Technical University, medical, and agricultural academies and more than 20 colleges and lyceums, branch campuses of some Moscow higher educational institutions and more than 50 high schools. The Tver State Medical Academy is a medical academy located in Tver. The Tver branch of MESI, Moscow State University of Economics, Statistics, and Informatics, a university with more than 75 years of history. MESI is a leader in ratings among the economic institutions of Moscow and Russia. Tver also houses the Tver and Space Defense Academy. Tver also has around 50 secondary schools, a private school, and the Suvorov Military School. Transportation. Railway. The Oktyabskaya Railway linking Moscow and St. Petersburg crosses the city. Since 1850, there has been a railway connection between Tver and Moscow. The primary Tver railway station has a locomotive and car shed, allowing it to service both passenger and cargo trains. In addition to the Tver Central Station, there are 4 minor stations within the city perimeter: Lazanaya, Proletarskaya, Doroshika and PPGT. The suburban railway service links Tver to Moscow, Boleroy, Torzhok. Most trains passing from Moscow to the northwest regions make a short stop in Tver. The high-speed train Sapsan, which is connecting Moscow with St. Petersburg, also makes stops in Tver, as well as Tolstoy train connecting Moscow to Helsinki, Finland. The newly designed high-speed railway line between Moscow and St. Petersburg is expected to have new Tver station several kilometers southward of the city border. The narrow-gauge railway of KSM2 factory, Tver plant of building materials 2. Road. The major M10 highway linking Moscow and St. Petersburg also crosses the city. This motorway is a part of the Pan-European Corridors system. The roads to Rzhev, Vetyegansk and Volokolamsk, along with many smaller regional roads, originate in the city. The new highway between Moscow and St. Petersburg, that is designed at the present time, will pass closely to the northern border of Tver. Tver is notable by a pretty high number of private cars. There are 288 cars per 1,000 residents, which is well above average among the other regions of Russia. Public transit. There is a local bus station that interconnects Tver with minor towns of Tver Oblast, neighboring oblasts, and Moscow. Local public transit consists of trolleybuses, trams, buses, and marshroute cars. The latter two have taken priority during recent years. There are 2 airfields within the city: Migalovo Military Airbase and Zedmayevo Airport, although the nearest airport with regular scheduled commercial service is Sheremetyevo Airport in Moscow. Water. The river station is located on the left bank of the Volga River, close to the confluence with the river Tver. There is also a small cargo port in the lower part of the Volga. During the summertime, pleasure boats ply up and down the Volga, with their base off the river station. Culture. Tver is home to Tver Oblast Academic Drama Theatre, Tver State Youth Theatre, Tver State Puppet Theatre, Tver State Philharmonic Orchestra, Tver State Circus, the Tver Oblast Art Gallery, the Tver State Art Architecture and Literature Museum. Sports. The City Association football team, FC Volga Tver, plays in the Russian Second Division. Climate. Tver has a humid continental climate, which is typical for central Russia. Winters are long, snowy and cold, but extremely severe frosts are rare, less than 10 calendar days per annum. The summer is generally warm and humid, with the temperature often rising higher than plus 30 degrees Celsius. Religion. Tver has 4 functioning Russian Orthodox cathedrals, 15 Orthodox churches, a Mormon chapel, a Catholic church, a mosque, and a synagogue. Within Tver, as in other cities of central Russia, the main religion is Russian Orthodox Christianity. Tver is the center of Diocese of Tver and Kashan of the Russian Orthodox Church, possessing the diocesan administration and residence of the ruling bishop. Since December 4, 1988, the Archbishop of Tver and Kashan has been Metropolitan Victor. White Trinity Temple in Zatmak, recently renamed Trinity Cathedral, built in 1564 and has since been repeatedly reconstructed, is the oldest surviving stone buildings Tver. It is subordinate to the ruling bishop. Preserved Assumption Cathedral, 18th century pre-existing Otrek Monastery, is in Transvolga district, near the mouth of Tver River. Resurrection Cathedral was built in 1912–1913, marking the 300th anniversary of the Romanov dynasty, and in the 1990s. After the return of the church received the status of the cathedral and is directly subordinate to the ruling bishop. Not far from the cathedral is the Cathedral of the Nativity of Christ and the monastery, built in 1810s. Notable people: Darya Kalashina, athlete; Igor Aksionov, association football player; Anastasia Dobromyslova, professional darts player; Vladimir Gardin, actor and film director; Ilya Kovalchuk, ice hockey player; Konstantin Krasavin, hero of the Great Patriotic War; Mikhail Krug, singer; Miron Akimovich Lubovsky, surgeon; Afanasy Nikitin, merchant and explorer; Boris Pugo, politician; Nadia Russo, pioneering aviatrix; Alexander Smirnov, ice skater; Tatiana Sergeyeva, composer; Andrei Tupolev, aircraft designer; Yuri Zhanov, chemistry professor and husband of Svetlana Alliluyeva; Leo Frankovsky, science fiction writer, who has settled in Tver, building a modern castle for his family; Oleg Losov, scientist and inventor. Twin towns and sister cities. Tver is twinned with